Content warning. This is a horror game and not intended for all audience. Please visit our website if you need a specific list of content warnings. This also contains flickering image effects as well as a parallax effect that on rare occasions causes motion sickness in players. If either of these effects cause health issues, you can disable them in game's preferences. Greetings and salutations everyone. I'm Ekamac. This is Let's Play Slay the Princess the Pristine Cut. In the last episode we wrapped up the game. Again. Unfortunately we're still missing, if I can find the right tab, we're still missing a few chapter 3s, a few routes here and there, you know, the usual stuff. I'm pretty sure that my problem is that my route for the Razor was triggered by me hesitating, so I do need to take a night route in order to get this one properly. But I kind of want to see what happens if I start with the Stranger route, so... Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Turn around and
Seriously?
leave.
You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
I'm actually pretty okay with the world ending. I relished the coming of a new dawn beyond our own. Gonna walk in the opposite direction now! Quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
And you do?
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around again and leave again.
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
Quietly continue down the path.
The silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Oh yeah? Well, I guess I start walking in a different direction again. In fact, I'm just going to keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
That certainly has context when you've seen the truth behind this whole situation.
And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realise that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Chapter 2, The Stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Those walls weren't here last time. You can't just force me to go to the cabin.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet. And you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
I was hoping that this time I'd use the stand in place and don't go anywhere. Oh well.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Don't believe a word she says.
Stop going in there. Maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Proceed into the cabin.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense if you stop to look at it. You've got these legs that shouldn't be the same length, and these legs shouldn't be the same. They all meet the same. These two legs meet the same spot on the floor, which they shouldn't. These legs meet the same spot on the floor, which they shouldn't. The perspective is just messed up.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, and when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
I mean, it's easy for someone like that to say when they know their geometry.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird.
It's basically all the cabins rolled into one, isn't it?
What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
I do have one proposal though, and that's whenever I get to something that might make a difference, save scumming. If we do get shunned, if we do end up on a new route, then I will play it out as normal, but until those points I will be using save files to ensure that I get something new worth looking at. Didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Take the... Okay, now here's where I want to make a safe state. Yeah, that's an old thing, isn't it? Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife, but you really shouldn't hold it like that. Then how are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. It will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom.
Yeah, that's still a weird way to hold a knife.
It doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
Hold the blade the other way?
Switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations. Yes! Isn't this so much better? Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already.
Wait, did they actually invert the cursor? Throw the blade out the window.
Ah, yes! Do it!
Now, if I were writing this game, the knife would come flying back in through the other window because, someone in another world chose to do the exact same thing.
Seriously. You throw the blade at the window, glass showering the cabin as your weapon flies out into the night. I suppose you'll just have to deal with the princess without it. We'll be fine, don't worry about it. What's the worst that could happen? The world ends. Been there, done that. I'm not so sure. This place is already messing with my head. It would be much better if we had a weapon. What's done is done. Good luck, hero.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases. Nothing here seems to belong. And the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
I'm trying not to skim too much because this is actually good dialogue, but I also would like to get to new stuff.
A disquieting collage of tone and personality drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Take the... Take the harsh stairs to the left or take the soft stairs to the right? Let's go right.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way.
Okay, this is actually very different.
But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether.
Maybe we should have taken the left stairs.
Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down.
Those bars are wiggling. I didn't catch that last time.
You're here to... He's just being an ass. We remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
I'm sorry I didn't realize I was here.
That's okay. Sometimes I forget where I am too.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. She's so warm and friendly.
That's very different to what we heard the first time, so the stairs we take down here does change this scene at least.
It's deception. Don't buy into it.
How strange. So, why are you here?
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures, and where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now.
And you need. But it's written as but you need. Huh.
New plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Getting down here was weird, like I was pulled apart and put back together. Do you know what happened to me?
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
There's more of you now.
Do you need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here. So if you need anything, I'll do my best. I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger. And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? We'd always start by retrieving the blade. The one he made us throw out the window. I wasn't the one who threw it. Oh, come on, you told us to. Don't try to pass the blame now that it's come back to bite us. Well, if I'd known we'd be dealing with this, maybe I wouldn't have been so hasty with my suggestions. Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
Okay, I don't feel like we'll get any... I'll ask about the name and then I'll snap us out of this.
You can call me Princess, if you'd like. Princess. You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around to use it?
So there must be a version of the no knife route approaching that it brings her out like this? I don't know.
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
I'm gonna do everything at once. Oh, I'm gonna try getting you out of here. I don't know what you are, but I can't trust you. Regretfully think about the time you threw the blade out the window.
That's not right. Go on. Take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
That top one looks like the razor, doesn't she?
But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? We could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this.
Important point on the fact that the Contrarian is apologizing for this nonsense. It was all fun and games until someone got horribly amalgamated.
How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
I'll do my best. Oh wait, no we can't, because bad touch. We don't know if she had the chance to hear your reply.
She's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again.
I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror.
Something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. No. Don't do that.
Approach the mirror.
You, don't do this.
The mirror never scared you.
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. It's you. But is it me? You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Maybe a long quiet. Let's check out the cabin again. You are at the cabin.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart.
Now that's unique. I'm sorry that we spoiled the game for you.
Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Let her out of there.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Nothing. Do we know each other?
You are familiar, but you are not me.
Contrarian all to the end. No, let's ask what happens now.
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to.
She is a creature of perception. Now there's a line of the accuracy.
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Are you scared that I'll find a way to kill you? How much will I forget? Okay, what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Okay. I'm not going back. Wait.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
Wait forever.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine. We were gone mere moments. I never left your side.
Okay, I need to tune this. Right, left, up, down. Oh, what a practical joke game. You crashed yourself and I booted it up again to see what happened. This game. Okay, you got me. Okay, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark, you die. I wonder if I change the time on the computer if she would notice. Oh well. I appreciate that the game did that. Chapter 1, Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay, I need to think about how I want to do this one, but yeah. I think now I have to see if I can trigger that final ending. It's probably going to be a knife route, but before I log off properly here, I do need to draw attention to one thing that I noticed as soon as I get the right option, because I never get the right option. Here we go. Kill your worst dreams or be killed by the ghost of your past. I want to point out that because we have the stranger, we actually have more third chapters than we have second chapters, so some of them must have multiple branching routes. But the thing is that this one makes it sound like there are 2 ways to get to it. And I do actually know the name of the route that I haven't picked up quite yet, because it says right here, find the Spectre. Get her to break out of her own chain sounds interesting, but yeah. Anyway, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.